Thank you. So, Reuben, I reached out to you. I think it was about a year ago, and I connected on the info at intelligentinstruments.com, and I was so thrilled when I got the response from you. So I'm going to. Oh, I don't think I was sharing there. Okay. It's been a day of technical issues today, friends. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what you saw or didn't see, but anyways,
I think you were sharing. I can see your slides.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to just simply stop sharing. There we go. Okay. So,
My turn.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
lost all access.
okay. Well, anyways, here we go. So we're starting recording now. So Reuben, thank you again for responding to the contact us, and please share with us about SoundVue cameras and what great work you are doing. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Ingrid. Can everyone hear me? I guess is the first thing, and see me and see my slides. You're nodding, so I guess that's good. This is normally the point that I would say turn your speakers up nice and loud because I'm going to play you lots of exciting noises. But we have had some technical issues, and I'm unable to share my sound for reasons that none of us understand. So I'm still going to play the noises, but only I'm going to be able to hear them, I'm afraid. So you're going to have to use your imagination. But yeah, anyway, I'll come to that. So yeah, greetings from a very cold, grey, miserable UK. My name's Reuben Peckham. I'm director of Intelligent Instruments, and we make noise cameras. Just to introduce myself a little bit more, so I'm an acoustic engineer. I've been an acoustic engineer for nearly 30 years. Southampton University graduate and postgraduate, and I'm a director of two companies. So 24 Acoustics is a engineering consultancy practice that specializes in noise and vibration. And I only really emphasize that because we do a lot of expert witness work. That's quite important with the noise camera, on the sort of noise camera stuff, when we get challenges for the robustness of the legality of our noise cameras. We are here to support our customers with expert witness work when needed. So far, we haven't been called to that yet, but there have been legal challenges, and they've all been unsuccessful so far. So anyway, 24 Acoustics started in 2004, so it's 20 years old this year. We're based in Southampton, which is in the sort of southern central part of the UK. It's about an hour from London, and we work throughout the UK and occasionally overseas, mainly in the UK. We got interested in instrumentation, so making noise monitors, because we were involved in the wind farm industry, and wind turbines have a particular characteristic of sound, which is when the blade passes the tower, you get a whoosh. So the blade goes round and round, it goes whoosh, 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 but occasionally it'll go bang rather than whoosh. And if it goes bang and you happen to live near it, it can be pretty disturbing. So wind turbines, wind farms over here were getting shut down because of that noise that they were making. So we helped write an algorithm that quantified the severity of that bang. And then we looked to the market to buy a noise monitor that we could use for our consultancy work that would implement that algorithm. This was about sort of 10 and a bit years ago, maybe 12 years ago now. And we couldn't find a noise monitor that would do what we needed. So we built our own. And we call that Intelligent Noise Monitor. And time passed, and we decided in 2018 that we would be sensible to put our instrumentation, manufacturing, and development into a different company, and that's when Intelligent Instruments was formed. And Intelligent Instruments is the company that we make all kinds of stuff, noise and vibration related, all kinds of different products, but that includes our noise camera system. So the sort of stuff we make are nuisance monitors, environmental noise, vibration, dust monitoring systems, which are very useful on construction, demolition sites, wind farms, industry, etc., for monitoring antisocial behaviour. We have some camera-based environmental noise monitoring systems which go into cities and can monitor sort of antisocial behaviour on sort of busy areas, street areas at night. Bespoke systems as well to suit user requirements, and then also the noise camera. The noise camera has been going. I'll talk you through the history of the noise camera, but it's been out doing its thing for 4 years, actually out on the streets, finding motorists in some parts of the world for 4 years now. And it's been a thing for about 6 years, so 2 years of development before that. So this is where you're going to have to use your imagination and make sort of engine noises in your head. So this is just some video showing you why we might have the need for noise cameras. Which hasn't played either. Brilliant. Try again. So lots and lots of antisocial noise there from vehicles, and it's important to emphasise that our systems are, and really any noise, and there are other noise camera manufacturers as well. We're not targeting, we're not. Well, in fact, as a manufacturer, we're not targeting anyone, but the user of the systems are not targeting. And not targeting the vehicle. So very often a common excuse that we're told about is my car is noisy out of the factory. And that may be true, but you have a choice as a driver as to whether you make it noisy. So you have a choice when you're parked at the lights waiting for the green light, whether to put your foot flat on the floor and drive away and wake everyone up, or drive away calmly. And it's so noise emission that we get from cars and vehicles, well, cars, trucks, motorbikes, etc. It's a form of antisocial behaviour. It's the driver that is responsible, and the excuse that it's my car, it's my vehicle, it's noisy from the factory, it's noisy from stock is not generally anyway, it's not a valid excuse. So the concept came from London, so Kensington and Chelsea in London, which some of you may know. It's a very, very wealthy area of London, and they have a particular issue with performance cars, so supercars, Lamborghinis, Porsches, Ferraris, etc., driven in residential streets, very often in the sort of in the night hours when people are trying to sleep, causing all kinds of disturbance. And I mean, this is a genuine photo here, and people do, the people bring these cars in, they gold plate them, they spray them pink, and they do this thing, sort of basically showing off antisocial behaviour at all times of day and night, and keep people awake. And frankly, if you're the kind of personality that chooses to spray your Lamborghini pink, you're probably not the kind of personality that is going to be shy and retiring and want to sort of just blend in and drive quietly. So they had a particular issue there. It became very, very political, and they approached us 2018 and said, is there a technical solution? Could we develop a camera system that could help them to reduce this issue? So we took the noise monitors that we'd already built for our wind turbine work. We added cameras to them, we reprogrammed them, we changed the firmware, and we built some prototypes, and we tested them in London. We had COVID in the way, but we tested them in London for a trial. We had two systems in London that started September 2020, and that was a 3-month trial. And in that time, they issued 165 fines, and they said they had no repeat offenders. So they were very pleased with that, and in fact, those systems are still there, and that's how the system looked at that time. What we have here is a basic microphone, a pair of cameras, and a box of electronics, processor, modem, etc. One point I always emphasize is that our microphone is a precision microphone. It's certified to an international standard, and it's what we call Class 1 accuracy. And that's as accurate as you can get outside of a laboratory. And that's really important when we're dealing with law enforcement, the risk of challenge in court, etc. We have to be able to demonstrate the system is precise, accurate, and robust. And we have had legal challenges, as I said before, and they have all been unsuccessful. That trial, it was all fairly novel and new at that time, and we received a lot of media attention, a lot of stuff on the news channels and in the papers, sort of sometimes things just happen without you sort of planning them. And we were approached by New York City, and they trialed a system in 2021 for 12 months. So from summer 21 to summer 22, they took one system, they moved manoeuvred it around the city, 5 different locations. We got loads of great feedback from them. New York is very different to London in terms of the road network and the type of cars, and just even how busy it is. So we modified the system on the back of their feedback. We put in what we call a microphone array, which I'll talk to you about in a minute, but that's some technology that enables us to identify the dominant vehicle. So if we have multiple vehicles in our imagery, we can, and one is making the noise and the others aren't, we can identify which is the noisy one. License plate recognition cameras and increased automation. And that's what we call a second generation system, which we launched in New York in February 23. There it is. And that's what we now call SoundVue. So in terms of where we are now, we have 12 permanent systems in London in 3 different boroughs. So that's in Kensington and Chelsea, Wandsworth and Westminster. We have one in Cheshire in the UK, and also Great Yarmouth. In fact, Milton Keynes isn't correct, that's not there yet. And then in New York, so New York are almost a partner, really. We work very closely with our customers in New York. So they now have 10 systems, and we're expecting more to go next year. We have 3 in Miami. We have a long-term trial that's underway in Sacramento, and California has been all of this year. We've got systems going into Iowa, Philadelphia, and Hawaii all in the next few months. And certainly in the US, a lot of interest, and actually in Canada as well, not just in Toronto, but other parts of Canada as well, lots of interest. I probably have 30 cities in the US and in Canada that I'm in sort of various stages of discussion with. And in other parts of the world, 4 systems in Sydney, in Australia. We completed a trial in Israel. Things obviously changed over there, but we completed a trial in Israel last summer, and we're in various stages of discussion with other parts of Australia, South America, New Zealand, and the Middle East. So we're certainly getting international attention. Our barrier to sales generally is legislation. So a city can say, yeah, this is the best thing we've ever seen, we really want this, but in practice it might take them between 18 months and 2 years to, excuse me, to pass the relevant bills to get the to actually be able to implement the technology. In terms of how it works, I'll be brief on this. I won't bore you for too long, but basically what we have is the microphone here. So this is the this is what I referred to before: Class 1 accuracy precision microphone, box of electronics, LPR cameras, and then we have, this is our microphone array. So we have 4 little microphones here, and then a wide-angle camera in the center here. And what happens is, as the vehicles approach the system, there is a tiny delay in the sound hitting each of the microphones. That delay is measured, and from that we can pinpoint the location of the offending vehicle, and it places a red spot on it, puts a red marker on the offending vehicle, which comes up on this camera. This then tells the LPR cameras where to focus, which license plate to read, and we capture all of that data. So the system basically is listening all the time, but it's also erasing all the time. So it only actually saves any data when it triggers. And it triggers on noise level in decibels, and then also the type of sound. So we have algorithms and a little bit of machine learning and AI within it that enable it to recognize engine noise, so exhaust noise, horns, music, and jake brakes. And when it detects that sound at the right level, it records a clip, video, audio, noise level, pushes it up into the cloud, and the user can interrogate that data remotely through a web interface. And I think it's probably obvious by now, the sort of the people that it's targeting. So it's it's performance cars, it's people driving antisocially in performance cars, I should say, choosing to drive that way. Modified exhausts and mufflers. So people that have taken their factory fitted exhaust off and fitted a modified muffler, which changes the characteristics of the engine sound. I'm sure you're all aware of it. So I suppose this is just a sort of a passing slide, really, but excess noise from road vehicles quite hard to enforce without this kind of technology. So you would need a specially trained officer who would need the right equipment. So a noise monitor like this, actually, and the type that you need, the sort of accurate calibrated precision monitors are pretty pricey. They're quite expensive. Obviously needs to be, he needs training in that, or she needs training in that. It needs to be calibrated, and it's going to be very labor intensive as well. So a lot of time on the street, sort of monitoring this and stopping people, and we're putting a lot of time into it without sort of necessarily getting much back. With an automated camera system, it is largely automated. It's not entirely automated, or it can be as automated as you want, but it does have the capability to detect every passing vehicle that is creating excess sound, and enables the user, whether that's the police or local authority or local government, whoever it is, to take action, which might be a fine or it might be a warning. According to local will and legislation. Our systems in London and New York are both issuing fines, and so in London they've issued fines since 2020, and in New York since their initial pilot in 2022. And others are not far off, following suit. So what I've got now is a couple of videos. So these are video screenshots. This is what you see. This is what we call the front end. So this is what you see within our web system. So this is a couple of events the trigger events, and this is what the user sees. I think, again, you're going to have to use your imagination in terms of the sound, because I don't think the sound's going to come through. But what we've got here is, if you just look in this top corner here, we've got two vehicles. So a silver car and a black car, which are going to approach from this way, pass the camera, and then pass away here in the opposite direction, away from the system. These images here are the LPR sensors, so they're reduced contrast. And then here, this is the fisheye, the wide angle lens, and what you'll see is the cars passing from left to right. This is probably the image to watch. And what you'll see is the noisy one will have a red dot on it, and it'll be tracked by the red dot, so it's identifying the noisy vehicle. So I'm going to play that, and hopefully it's self-explanatory. So I'm just going to pause it there. So our red dot here is pretty much on the exhaust of the black car. So it's and this is a Dodge Charger, which we don't have in the UK. So I didn't know about Dodge Chargers until a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's this car that's creating the sound, and not the silver car here. Okay, it's a shame you can't hear that. That level actually is about 110 there. It's a pretty high level. This microphone is about 30 feet from the edge of the road. And the cursor here moves in time with the video. There we go again. So we have license plate, nice and clear, or certainly clear enough to read. And the license plate comes out down the bottom here. Okay, and then I have one more. This is the same site. These sites are in Miami, I should say. And this is the same site, but this is just at night. So it just shows the system working in poor visibility. I think this is a Lamborghini in a taxi having a race, and I think we would. So yeah, there's the taxi. I think we would probably agree that it's unlikely to be the taxi making that sound. I think you guys can't hear it, but yeah, it's very throaty and very sporty. But again, the technology needs, obviously, we need to be able to prove beyond reasonable doubt in court, if it comes to that it is that car and not the other one. Does that for us. There's the license plate. There we go. I think that is it from me. I'm not sure if that was half an hour or a bit less, but yeah, thanks for your time.
Awesome. Just coming back on screen here.